Hello everyone, and today we're going to set up n8n on a Google Cloud VM where our OpenClaw is already running. n8n has become very popular because it makes automation much more accessible. So it gives us a visual way to connect APIs, services, and also AI tools while still allowing customized code and also more advanced workflow logic. And right now you can see I have this very simple workflow that's being set up. So I can just click this simple click and to run this entire workflow. And the idea is that the output of the previous node will become the input of the following nodes. So if you look at each of the node, so this one will send out a request to the Census, and that will return the collected population data of all the counties in Virginia. We then pass the collected data to this JavaScript code, and we can extract the county names and also population numbers. And finally, we pass those extracted numbers and also names to our bar chart, and we're able to view that bar chart. So the idea of today's tutorial is that, so we already have our OpenClaw that is running on this Google Cloud VM, and we can also use our VS Code to connect to this Google Cloud VM. So we're going to install n8n as a Docker service. And the reason to use Docker is because Docker makes the setup cleaner and also easier to manage. It runs n8n in its own container and keeps things organized. And once we installed n8n, we can open this web URL. We're going to build this demo workflow to collect data, analyze data, and also visualize data. All right, so now we're going to install the Docker on our OpenClaw demo VM first. So you can see here we opened the VS Code. We also connected with our Google VM. So you can see the files on the left side and also the terminal right here. So this is what we're going to do next. We're going to install the Docker from the official Docker repo to our local VM. We're going to prepare the VM tools locally. So for example, update and also install those tools. And next, we're going to send requests to the Docker repo to get their security key. So we're going to use this key to verify the Docker. And next, we're going to update our local files. So tell the apt where to download the Docker files, and also when you download, and make sure you verify the Docker's package signature. So make sure that you downloaded the trusted package. And finally, we send our request and also download the package, and also our apt will verify the package first. So if it is from the official repo, and it will install the Docker engine and also all the other tools. All right, so let's start. So first, we're going to update our local package list. And next, so we're going to install those tools that we just mentioned earlier. By default, we're going to install the keys to this folder. And next, we're going to download the Docker's JPG key and also store that one to the folder that we just created. All right. And now we're going to make this key readable so that our VM is able to use it. And next, we're going to add Docker's official repo location. So let's store that one to our local VM. All right. So this will tell that where to download the Docker file. And now we're going to update our apt one more time. And now we're going to install the Docker files. So we tell apt that download the Docker files from the official website and also verify the package. Okay, so this step is complete. So let's check our Docker version. Now let's check the Docker Compose version. And that also has been successfully installed. Now we're going to set up this n8n deployment. So our first step is that we're going to create two folders on our VM. So we need to prepare the YAML files. So those are the blueprint and tells that Docker how to build the app. And also the .env files. Those contains like our password and also security settings. And the next, we're going to Docker compose up. So this one will tell Docker to download this n8n image and also apply our settings and start the container that in this detached mode. So which means that it will running continuously inside the VM. So the Docker will generate a secure and also isolated sandbox for the n8n. And also our data is stored into the separate folder. So containers are temporary. So if you stop or if you need to update your containers, everything inside will be deleted. So that's why it is very important that we are going to store our data into this separate folder so that our data is safe. And once we have this n8n running, and also we are running on this default port that is 5678, and we're going to use our VS Code as to forward the port so that our local computer will be able to view this user interface with our local browser. So first, we're going to create those two folders. So that's our first folder, and also that's our second folder. Okay, next we're going to create an .env files within the n8n compose folder. So here, let's just create a new file. Let's call it .env. And the content of the files are like this. So we tell that where is our host, and also what is a default port, and also our time zone. You can give it a strong password. And next, this will make this env files private. And now we're going to create that compose.yaml files. So let's create a new file. And the content of that files are just like this. So we tell where the Docker image is, and we are using the latest Docker image. We also tell that we need to restart automatically unless we start this container. We're also loading our env files, and also we tell where our data will be stored. So that is separate from this folder. So just make sure that we are inside of this n8n folder. So we type cd and go to this n8n compose folder. And now we're going to run this command that is docker compose up. That will download the image and also set up the n8n container. Alright, so now we can see that the image has been pulled and also the container has been started. So let's check the status. And here you can see that the image is running. And also we are using this 5678 port. So now we're going to open this port in our local computers. So the easiest way is to go to the ports, and also we just type forward a port. And here we type the port number 5678 and we hit enter. And now we can just open this one in our browser. Okay. So now you can see that we are able to access this Docker container that's running on our Google Cloud VM. So now let's just set up our own account. So you can type your email, your first name, last name, and also your password. So once we log in, and you can see we have these questions. And on the next page, so they are asking, do you want to get the paid features for free? So right now I'm going to skip that. All right, so here we are on this workflow designing page. So you can add those nodes here, like menu triggers or on schedule. And now we're going to implement the demo flow that I showed earlier. So here you can see you have a lot of choice. So for example, you can choose those AI functions, such as using the AI template or bring your AI agent or connect with your large language models. You can also use different apps. So for example, you can see that you can trigger an event such as create a bucket or copy the files. You can also define the logic. So like if, else, loop, filters. And this is where you can use your customized code. So they support both JavaScript and also Python code. And this is what we are looking for, the HTTP request. So let's bring that one. We're going to get the data from the Census. So that is a URL. Let's connect both together. And now we're going to define our JavaScript analysis. So once we have the data that requested, we're going to add a customized code to extract data. We're going to go to the code and we're going to choose JavaScript. And here I'm going to just copy and paste the code. And also all the code will be provided on our LB Social website. Let's also give it a name. So here I'm going to call it JavaScript analysis. So our final step will be a visualization. It's called a quick chart. For the labels, I'm going to drag the labels. And for the data, I'm going to drag the data. And let's look at that image. So that's a very simple workflow. And actually what makes it really powerful is that they have a lot of templates. So if I go to the templates, so this is a n8n website, and you can see right now it has over 9,000 templates. And you can find out the templates by different category. So for example, I'm going to just open the first one. And here you can see that's a template to build your first AI agent. It has a very detailed instruction on how to use it. This one is free to use, so I'm going to click this option. And now you can see we just downloaded this template to our flow. Again, you need to verify the templates. So if you trust the templates, you can just follow those instructions and also create those Gemini API keys, and also you can run the flow. So n8n is extremely popular, and essentially you can find out all the flows that you want. You can also share your flows. For example, this is our customized flow. So if you want to share this with other people, you can just click share. All right, so that is a full process. We started with a Google Cloud VM that already had OpenClaw running. And then we added n8n as a new Docker service, opened the interface through the VS Code. We also built a demo workflow. This also helps explain why n8n has become so popular. It gave us this visual and flexible way to connect APIs, data tools, code, and automation steps in one workflow. So that's very easy to start with, and also can also support much more advanced use cases. So later, we will extend this one to integrate that with our OpenClaw and also AI agents.